Welcome to the chapel of the Shrine and Institute of St. Martin DePorres, located here in Memphis at St. Peter Church. The shrine, like the church, is directed by priests of the Dominican order, followers of the 13th century Spanish preacher St. Dominic de Guzman. The church was founded at its present location in 1840. The chapel was constructed in 2001 as part of the church's most recent building expansion. Many of those making pilgrimages or attending masses here in the chapel know St. Martin as the patron saint of social justice. He was born in Lima, Peru in 1579, living there throughout his life. Lima, in that time, was the center of widespread and powerful Spanish colonialism. In fact, Martin was the son of a Spanish government official and a freed Panamanian slave. The very rigid class structure and racism appear to have prevented their marriage. Martin and his sister grew up in the poorest of circumstances. Their mother did every sort of menial labor to keep her family together. Juan DePorres did offer some financial support for Martin's education at a later time. At age 15, Martin came to live with the Dominican priests and brothers, usually referred to as friars. At first he was a donado, in those days the lowest rank among them. He eventually became a full member of the order. The large cast metal statue, designed in the 1960s by Dominican sculptor Father Thomas McGlynn, identifies St. Martin by the inclusion of a broom representing his deep humility. The small animals at the base represent his charity and compassion for all and his ultimate concern for justice and equality for all people. His black and white vestments identify him as a Dominican. The term icon simply means image, typically a human or religious image. These 5 icons represent aspects of St. Martin's ministry. They were created in copper and enamel by Memphis artist Pam Hassler, who also produced the icon of the Virgin of Guadalupe near the chapel's confessional. She created a larger icon of St. Martin located above the entryway into the chapel from the church. The titles for these icons are written on their wooden frames in both English and Spanish. Worshipping the Lord. The crucifix seen in this icon represents Martin's great gift of prayer. He is known to have spent sustained hours on his knees, his arms extended upward to the Lord. The second icon is titled Serving in Faith. Note the symbol of the broom. Martin once scolded a fellow Dominican who harshly treated the monastery's native Peruvians as they scrubbed the floors. He said, "Were they Spanish, you would treat them differently." Here is feeding the hungry. The bread shown here represents St. Martin's charity. See the symbol of grain in the top right corner. He continually requested funds for those in need and received these from the wealthy and influential, distributing the money or using it in other ways to help the poor. In one well-known story, the young Martin was punished by his mother when he returned home empty-handed after delivering laundry she had washed. He had given her pay, or the bread he was to buy with it, to a beggar. The story goes that she soon realized her son was filled with sympathy and generosity, far greater than she could even imagine. This is caring for creation. The dog, cat, and mouse together represent the equality of all God's creatures, and St. Martin's complete disregard for a person's class, race, or station in life. The leaf on the right refers to the herbs he used in caring for and healing both animals and humans. Finally, there is healing the sick. The mortar, pestle, An ointment jar here are medieval symbols of healing. Martin had received training as a barber surgeon. In his time, barbers often performed the duties of a modern-day doctor. His healing was first performed among the Dominicans, and then as others heard of his miraculous gift, he began to heal people from every walk of life, from the Spanish ruling class to those living in the streets. Other images of St. Martin identify him by a sickbed. The large wooden cross above the chapel's altar was built for the chapel by a local woodworker. The body of Christ, also made of wood, was discovered deep in the church's basement when the chapel was being constructed. The chapel also contains a relic of St. Martin. Relics of the saints are seen in churches around the world. Like many relics, this one, displayed in a beautiful vessel from the church's collection, comes from the saint's remains. The vessel's Gothic spires reflect the style of the main altar in the church itself. In 1962, Pope John XXIII, in order to bring Martin's compassion and justice to our time, recognized him as a saint, the first black person in the Americas to become a saint. Here in the Shrine and Institute Chapel, we honor his life of devotion to the Lord and deeply value his care for others, reminding us to follow his example.